Okay, we're looking at this topic of death, and we want to look at alive in hell or annihilation. Some people object to eternal punishment and deny that the Bible teaches that. If one is to live in heaven forever and ever, the same words are used to describe punishment in hell. So if one is to live in heaven forever and ever, the same definition must be applied to those who are punished in hell. The Bible tells us that at the great white throne judgment, death and hell and those who do not have their names written in the book of life are cast into the lake of fire. And that's in Revelation chapter 20, verses 14 through 15. This everlasting fire was prepared for the devil and his angels and not for mankind. But lost mankind will be placed there with the fallen angels, and we see that in Matthew chapter 25, verse 41. Because, like Satan, it is because of their rebellion against God and their refusal to accept God's provision for sin, the death, burial, and resurrection of his Son, Jesus Christ. Punishment implies consciousness, so it isn't possible to be annihilated and be punished. Angels were created a little higher than man. And some people feel that God will not punish angels forever. It must be remembered that angels were created with everlasting life. Luke chapter 20, verses 36. So if angels can die, then mankind can never have everlasting life. All angels were created with everlasting life. So it would be against the nature of God to destroy them in a lake of fire. If God destroys the angels, then the angels were not created with everlasting life, and there is a conflict in the Bible. But there is no conflict in the Bible on that. Since the fallen angels are evil, disobedient angels who live forever, what does God do with them in the end? God created them with everlasting life, and therefore he must hold them forever without destruction. And to be just, he must punish them. Therefore, he prepared a place especially for them to contain and punish them. The lost will join the angels in the lake of fire after the great white throne judgment, and that's in Revelation chapter 20, verse 15. Jesus also gives the length of punishment as everlasting in Matthew chapter 25, verse 46. If the word everlasting doesn't mean everlasting, then we can never have everlasting life that was promised to those who believe. The truth is that everlasting means everlasting, so there is no conflict in the Bible. For those who would like for hell and the lake of fire to be annihilated so they won't be punished for their sins, there is another problem. Since the Bible speaks of two deaths, how can a person be annihilated two times? Biblically speaking, when one who has rejected Jesus dies physically, they are held in hell, a place of punishment, until they stand before the great white throne judge. And then they are cast into a lake of fire after that, which is the second death. Since that person is already the second death is an everlasting punishment and everlasting separation from God. So if being cast into hell means annihilation, then there can be no judgment for the second death since that person has already been annihilated. The Bible speaks of punishments for sins, but annihilation means there can be no punishment for sin. One who is annihilated cannot be punished after they've been done away with or annihilated. So the book of Matthew, the angels cried out to Jesus, "Art thou come hither to torment us before our time?" This indicates that the fallen angels were aware there is no means of salvation for them, and that instead of annihilation, they will be tormented. And that's in Matthew chapter 8, verse 29. Thank you for listening.